Okay guys, welcome back to the layout. It's been a few months since I made a video. I've been out of town here and there, a little bit of business, a little bit of pleasure. But I'm back and I want to show a little bit of progress that's going on with this guy here in front of you, which is the Chicago Metro bi-level car, and a few other acquisitions I've gotten in the meantime. So to start, as you can see, I've gotten the first coat of paint going, and I've also added some of the detail parts. I've got a few more parts to add to it. You also see I've done some of the cleanup on the windows. Added a horn. And I've also added, or not really added, but removed the stock snowplow. I'm going to add one up underneath the chassis, as you see prototypically on these guys. But I've also drilled out the holes in the appropriate areas for the ditch lights, red marker lights, Mars light, and headlights. And we'll be using the 2mm LEDs with the decoder to run those. Have a few more detail parts to add to the back here. And I've gotten a little bit there with the diaphragm added. And another coat of paint, possibly two. And I'll show you that when I get a little bit further along. I've done a bit of work to the chassis. Again, I was watching Ennis Model 24 put his fleet of these together, and he was able to retrofit some Walthers bi-level cars, and it came out really nice for him. Unfortunately, I didn't have any to recycle, so I decided to keep the stock chassis, but as you can see, I've done a little bit of work to it. I did add Walthers passenger trucks to them, and I did recycle part of the bolster out of the stock truck to fit or seat the truck a little bit more snug and properly. On both sides, you can see I've drilled out an area for the wires to run through, which will run to a decoder to power the lights and sound. This is a 1/4-inch birch that I've used on a few other projects on the layout. The first piece I added was just along here, and it added a bit of weight, and it made it so it wasn't as flimsy, but it still had a little bow to it, especially once I got to mess around with the trucks and fitting them and everything. So I added a few more pieces along the top here to act as braces, and that gave it a lot more rigid stability and doesn't want to bend pretty much at all now at this point. So that's worked out pretty good, and it's also been a nice place for, and it really wasn't done by design, it just kind of worked out this way, but an area for the decoder to be seated once they get that installed. As far as the weight, it's put this at about 6 ounces, which isn't bad. I think the NMRA standard is about 7 ounces. So I may add a little bit more once I get the rest of the few parts that are in there, the speaker and etc. Most of the rolling stock that you get from the store is anywhere between 4 and 6 ounces. For example, this guy here from Arthur, this is a whopping 4 ounces. So that's what's being worked on. Other than that, a few other things that I've gotten in the meantime. At the local hobby store, I picked up a Three Brothers bi-level Metro, Chicago Metro passenger car. This one needs a bit of restoration. You can see what the previous owner has done. So once I'm done with the Island Model Works, I'm going to probably give this one a whirl, and then I'll work on which direction I want to go from there as far as getting a few more of these to add to the fleet. A few other acquisitions. Hawthorne has released the GP60B in BNSF as well as Santa Fe. You can hear it humming there. You can tell I don't have the decoder in there yet. But it's a nice addition. I got it for about $100 from my local hobby store, so I was pretty happy with that. Nice paint job. Looks like they've made the handrails a little bit more sturdy, but I'm still a little nervous about them, just like most of the Hawthornes. Nice detail, see-through fan, and at least in DC mode it runs pretty nice. The second thing that I've gotten from Athearn, again from my local hobby store, is, and you got to bear with me here, it's in two pieces. Here's one. Yes, that's an F7B, and what it goes with is the rotary snowplow. Now what's kind of neat about this is, I'm going to see if I can get the camera down there. Is yes, that's moving. It's powered by track current, but you can add a decoder to this to operate it if you like. So what I'm probably going to do, you guys know me in my DCC work, I may add a decoder to this to power the fan, and if I get the money right, I may actually add a sound decoder to power the B unit. The last thing that I've gotten, actually I got a while back, but I really didn't show it, is the Kato P42 in the Amtrak Phase 5 scheme. That has the ESU lock sound, and I'll put the camera down here and I'll fire it up so you guys can hear it. So hang on just a sec, there we go. Okay, you can see the lights. Red marker lights in reverse. At F8, which is ESU's turning the sound on, which is opposite of most manufacturers, but really impressed with this locomotive. It drives very nice. It sounds great with the ESU decoder. Okay, so you guys get the idea. That's where I'm at, and hopefully I'll make a few more videos here in the future. See you next time.